Hi, Helen. Okay. All right, let me get the other. I'm all right. E. Here we go. All right, I'm pulling up your slides. Where did they go? Oh my goodness. How did I lose them? Oh my gosh. So I had the slides up, E, and now I don't know where they went. Good. Oh, I could have downloaded them. Okay. Good. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Olivia. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are all joining me. So E, of course, put this together because Lord knows I wouldn't have been able to. So E, should I start now? No sound. Can you still not hear me, Kit? Sure, we have 14 so far. Okay, good. All right, and you can hear me, E? Good here? Okay. Kit, have you been able to figure it out? I ask as though I could help. Okay. You may have to leave and come back in. Okay, so I'll get started. So E has done up these awesome slides for me. So I guess, and she put them up on the living room so that you guys can look at them too if it, as we go, and so you can have some of the information just kind of at your disposal. So chat anytime, jump in and ask questions. Actually makes it easier for me if I'm answering some of your questions while I go through. If you don't see the chat area, switch to a computer or a laptop. And this video is being recorded, and E, of course, it'll be E, puts it up. She'll put it up on YouTube tomorrow. Okay. And then she reminds me to tell you guys, if your name is not, is different than your real name, you might have to remind me, because I might just end up calling you Nate for the rest of the time and not know that I'm being an idiot. Anyway, all right. And I see that Nate's here, so I can start doing that. So obviously, so I'm here to talk about the proactive handling fronts and blinds. And this class is primarily going to be focused on front crosses. I think 5 of the assignments are front crosses. 1 is on blinds, but we are going to talk about some of the things that I want you guys thinking about when you're doing your blinds. It's just they tend to be more important with front crosses, so we're more focused on that. And as always, E does the technical support, and as any of you guys who are on this, I'm sure know, she's amazing, and I couldn't do any of this without her. So, so that's that part. Now, E has also come up with some great ideas in terms of giving out the assignments, because Facebook is really a pain in the butt where it keeps announcements and they kind of move things around a little bit. And so on the closed Facebook groups, I know a lot of people often struggle to find out where the assignments are and everything. So what we're going to be doing for this class is every week you're going to get an email, and that email is going to include maps, the video assignment, and anything else that I want to send you. So all of the assignments are going to go in that weekly email. Okay. We're still going to have a Facebook group, and that's where you guys are going to post your homework assignments. But you're going to have that email with all of my information each week sent right to you. And I think it'll be easier for you to kind of keep the information, and you can download it and keep it forever. So we hope that that'll work a little bit better. I think that it will. Okay. If you don't use Facebook at all, although you're all on here, so I'm assuming you do, you can email me and we can come up with another way for you to submit assignments. Okay. So each Wednesday, your email will contain a map of the sequence. So 3 to 4 jumps and 1 tunnel maximum number of pieces of equipment, a video of me and some of my dogs working the sequence, video of the footwork for the specific type of front cross that we're working on, and then any sort of additional assignments that I want to give you or work that I want to give you. And then also we'll always give you the link to the Facebook group. And one of the things, so even though I'm kind of been going back and forth about how I want, what I want to provide for the assignment. And so while I'll be giving you the 3 to 4 jump sequence, I'm also going to give you a larger sequence to do it in. So like something like 10 or 15 obstacles for those of you who want to be doing that. I'm a little bit undecided on when I'm going to present that information, because I know I've had some people say that if I give that as an assignment, then they feel like they have to do that. And for some people, it's too hard or whatever. So what I'm going to say is that I do think I'm going to present it that first week. And sometimes I'll have run it with my dogs and sometimes not, or I'll wait to show you for some reason. And if you're the one person, and I forget who it was, who I said that I wasn't going to do that, and you sign up and I'm doing it, then I can give you your money back. That's not a problem. Okay. All right. So I review homework Monday through Thursday, once a day. And I'm usually pretty good about that. I've had kind of some trouble this time because of my email issues, but E has me using something called Loom that you've probably seen the video for the class, where I talk over the video and I can go back and show you different moments in time where you're doing something, and I can show you where the dog is and what I want you to look at, and I can. It's really nice in a lot of ways, because you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I've been just thrilled with how well it's gone, because I can literally show you the moment that you take your eye off your dog, or the moment when you're on the dog's path so the dog can't see the next obstacle, or whatever. So this new program is, I think, extraordinarily helpful. And I think that a lot of people are really benefiting from it. So I'm still going to be using Loom, and that's been going really well. And you can also, you don't need to install Loom to watch, okay? And you can even download your video to save it if you want to watch it again. And if you want to upload your video to YouTube, please set it as unlisted, just so other people can't be looking at it and stuff, and hearing my comments and everything. Okay. So Loom is amazing. It's really exciting, actually, doing this whole thing with Loom, because it's just so helpful. Okay, what is proactive handling? All right, so proactive handling is, or what I think of it as, is it's really focusing on what you do to control your dog's path. So one of the things I find a lot is with students is that they are kind of responding to what their dog is giving them at all moments. And really what we want to do is ahead of time, we want to think about exactly what we want to do. Where do we want to be looking? Where do we want to be stepping? When do we want to be doing those things? And when we're really, really detailed in thinking about where we're going to be and looking at our path and how that relates to our dog's path, it makes it much easier for us to both control the dog's path and control what the dog is going to see. So one of the things that we often talk about is the handler is responsible for setting the path, and the dog is responsible for the obstacles. And so if I'm really thinking ahead of time and setting my path, and I know how my path changes my dog's path and how it affects my dog's path, then it allows me to set up a situation where it's much easier for the two of us to succeed together. And so we pre-plan everything, right? The exact handler line that we want to run, your speed when it varies, okay? Also thinking about having a certain point to start thinking about your speed. Oftentimes students kind of start running and they get somewhere and they find themselves in a place that they don't want to be. So if we have kind of like a trigger spot where we're like, okay, right now I'm going to manage my speed. I want to be this distance when the dog exits the tunnel or whatever else, okay? I also talk about target locations. So what I think of as a target location or a target is someplace that I'm going to continue moving to, okay? And I'm not going to stop my motion until I get there. If I don't get there and my dog exits the tunnel, well, I'm just going to keep moving through, okay? At that target location, though, sometimes I'm going to then wait for something to happen, either the dog to exit the tunnel or to land a jump or anything else, okay? But in that target location, not only am I thinking about exactly where I want to be, right, immediately behind a wing or exactly on this spot, I also think about the setup, right? Is my dog side leg forward? Is my dog side leg back? Is my, what direction are my feet pointed in? Is my chest turned, looking back at the dog? What am I, exactly where am I, okay? And as always in this class, we want to think about what is my next step, right? So I'm always having my script where I'm saying, okay, I need to see the dog exit the tunnel. Then I'm going to take a step with my dog side leg. I'm going to see my dog turn his head to look at the tunnel. And that's when I'm then going to leave or whatever else. Okay. So that if I have a pre-plan where, I always am thinking of the next thing, I'm less likely to kind of get stuck and be like, oh, what do I need to do? So, for instance, I send the dog to the tunnel, and this happens often where a student will send the dog to the tunnel and they're just kind of like, oh, and then the dog exits the tunnel and they're like, oh, crap again, right? So instead of doing that, thinking about, okay, when does the dog commit to the tunnel and what's my next step? So the moment my dog commits to the tunnel, where do I then go and move on from that. Okay. All right. So one of the main things with this class, right, because it's all about front crosses, is how do we do a front cross, okay, move out of our front cross and be looking back and staying connected with our dog. And so one of the things that I use are different parts of the environment so that, I can look at a wing and say, okay, I want to stay directly behind this wing. And if I run directly behind this wing at a line, in a line, then I know I'm not going to run into anything else, and I'm going to be setting the correct line for the dog. Okay. Or I can be, the line can be set by a variety of different environmental cues. I just need to kind of pre-plan them. And when I'm walking my course, I need to really do a good job, which One Mind has been talking about for years, of looking at my dog, having my pretend dog there, and thinking about, okay, when I see my dog, when I'm looking back at my dog, what in the environment can cue to me the line that I need to be taking away so that I can be running on a straight line really confidently, that I'm not going to run into other things, and that allows me to stay connected to my dog. Okay. So, so all of these things kind of are set up so that instead of responding to what our dog is doing, we are setting the path and we are setting the lines. And with the pre-planning, we know exactly what's going to happen because we have, set it out and thought about it. And hopefully in this class, we're going to learn more about what our specific path does to our dog's path. Okay. So this class focuses on mostly front crosses. In the last class, so I don't know how many, I think most of you guys who I see here took the last class, and we bit off more than we could chew. A lot of people were overwhelmed with the class, which I totally get. So this class is just going to be focused on front crosses, okay? And the specific footwork, how we move out of them, the different kind of types of front crosses. So in the last proactive handling class, I talked about step in, step out front crosses. We're also going to talk about front crosses that are about 45-degree angles. Oh wait, E has all them listed here. So we'll also discuss situations in which blind crosses would be better, and when we want to do different blind crosses. And E says, I'll probably do a whole class on blind crosses soon. So I probably will. Okay, so the different types of front crosses that we'll cover, step in, step out front crosses, where you're running in on a straight line and you want to run back on that same straight line. So if the dog is doing some sort of wrap or something like that. An on the jump front cross. So these are front crosses where you can kind of be way ahead and you can be at that jump, cueing collection and everything else. So on the jump front crosses, and then 45-degree angles. And when we're talking about the angles, we're talking about the handler lines. So the dogs can be coming from any different angle in these, but the footwork for a 45-degree angle front cross or a 90-degree front cross. So those are the types of front crosses we're going to be covering. So questions, the equipment, 3 to 4 jumps in 1 tunnel is plenty for the real assignment. I am also going to include a larger sequence that includes that piece, but that's optional. And again, I'm not even always going to videotape that part with my dogs because I really want that just to be optional. But certainly you guys can submit it and I will review it on Zoom. Level of experience, really any. We're focused on improving the footwork and timing and setting lines and how to set good lines and stuff like that. So really any level is good. Date starts this Wednesday on October 14th. It's a 6-week class. You'll get 6 emails. Every Wednesday, you'll get an email. The deadline for posting homework is the 25th of November. So I guess the last email that'll go out will be Wednesday, November 18th. And then deadline for posting homework will be on the 25th. And the Facebook group will close on the 9th of December. Although I think E and I kind of always open up the deadline for posting homework, but I shouldn't say that now. Not going to have auditors this time. The cost is $175, and you can register at my website, datadrivenagility.com, seminars, and then online seminars. So, questions? Does anybody have any questions? Do I have to send videos? That's been hard with other classes. No, you don't have to send videos. The only time I really want to see a video is if you're struggling with something. Then it's really useful for me to have a video. But if if you think that you can kind of write out the problem to me and I can answer that way, that's fine. Okay. I think that especially when you see Loom, you might want to be able to get a video with that, but you absolutely do not have to post videos if you don't want to. I know that a lot of people like to take my classes and not do that, and that's totally fine. All right, handler footwork drills without the dog. Yes, and handler footwork drills with the dog, but without normal agility equipment. Should we all use YouTube? I think so. E, what do you think? I think that's usually easiest. Or just post them on Facebook. No, just upload to Facebook. That's better. How many videos can you submit? I never really put a limit on it. You can submit as many as you would like. I do like the Loom videos to be one run, but you can post multiple, and I'll look at them. I think what I'll say with this one is that what will I say? You can certainly post the same sequence multiple times, but I would like it to be in response to my comments. Okay. So if you, or if you do it, if you post something and then, you try it again the next day and you say, oh gosh, I should have done this, then you can absolutely post it. But if you're handling it pretty much the same way, I would like to be able to make comments on it before I see multiple videos of that version. So yes. So really as many as you want, but not multiple versions until I've been able to comment on them. Okay. Yep. Yep. So the video that we have that shows me doing the Loom, that must be on the Facebook, the living room group. Is it on the living room group? Where can people see that? Can we post it in here? Can I do the link? Oh, you'll get it? Okay, good. Okay. It's awesome, you guys. It's pretty amazing, actually, the Loom. Other questions? I think you're going to be able to. I mean, I don't know exactly how small your backyard is, Nancy, but the main parts are very small little sequences. So I think, yes, I think you could. I also think that if it was ever like you felt like it was too tight, you could certainly change out the jumps for cones. And that would allow you to do all the same handling, but you could put it in a smaller space because it wouldn't be taking up the width of the bar. So I don't think you need much space. You say you're only doing front crosses. Will you do blinds too? So I'm going to have a whole lesson on blinds at the end, but it's mostly front crosses. It's mostly front crosses. That being said, if you are someone who doesn't do front crosses, so I do have students who don't do front crosses, then we will talk, then you could do the blind. If you're somebody who wants to do just blind crosses, you could do the blind on these different angles, and we would talk about how you would get that done. So, so who am I talking to? Leslie. So I think, Leslie, there are some places where you might do blinds that I wouldn't want other people to do them. But you could absolutely do them in the video, and we could talk about how to manage them in the video. Because I'd rather see. So, oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad you're not doing all blinds, Leslie. All right. Low front crosses include plugging my brain into my feet. I hope so. That's kind of the goal. I'm trying to get us to be actively in control of our bodies, which so often we're not. Yeah, so hopefully, and I think the big part about that, Karen, is that if we're just always thinking about what's next, we're less likely to get into places that we don't mean to be, and I think that also helps us stay kind of conscious in what it is that we're doing rather than just racing forward. Leslie, you're afraid of him running into you. He seems like a very good boy, and I would be surprised that if he would run into you, but I agree. I like to be looking at my big boys. Nate Prize, help me with not getting run over because yes, good. Yeah. So yes. So the whole point of this class is to have you have a better understanding of where you're going to be, and when you're there, where should your dog be? And yes, if you're not there and you're doing a blind, bail, right? Because if you're not there, nobody has fun if mama gets hurt. So that's one of the things I'm always telling my students. If you don't feel safe, bail. Can you do these with a dog who still needs? Yes, absolutely. You can do them with a dog who still needs obstacle commitment. In fact, in several of the videos that I've already done for the class, I've used both Ruth and True, my two puppies, who do not yet have the great obstacle commitment. And so I have a new type of wire that's a little more invisible, which is kind of cool, but it's up in some of them. So you'll be able, if you look hard, you can see that I'm actually doing some of the videos with dogs who don't have the obstacle commitment. So yes, you absolutely can. More about the scripts. Okay, so one of the things in the proactive handling that I'm really focused on is the script. And in your head, before you go out there, saying exactly what it is, saying what you're going to be doing every moment. So, for instance, right, When I send my dog to a tunnel, he's going to commit when he is just passing the plane of my shoulder. The moment he does that, I'm going to leave on a straight line to the wing of jump 5. I'm going to be looking over my right shoulder. I'm going to stay in that target location until he exits the tunnel, and then I'm going to take a step or whatever. And so actually, what I've done for the front cross class is come up with a specific script just for every single front cross. And it just has thinking about exactly when do I start my front. So is my location more important than my dog's location? So I actually, I'll pull it up here. I'll look at it, what I said. So in the script for front crosses, right, the first thing is need to ask yourself, do you need to decelerate or collect your body before you move into the front? Or are you already in a position where you can be balanced? So one of the things that I think that a lot of people have learned in this class is that when they start a front cross, they often have to balance with their opposite leg or their rear leg in the case of the front cross. And that can cause them to take multiple steps that they don't need to and or move out on an incorrect line. And so the first question, do I need to decelerate or rebalance myself or balance myself before I'm ready to take my front cross? Okay. I'm also going to ask myself, is my dog's position in space more important than my position, or is my position more important in space in terms of the timing? And usually it's the dog, right? So the dog lands the previous obstacle, and that's when I want to give him the information he needs, the front cross. So I want to take the first step of my front cross, which is the commitment step when the dog lands the previous obstacle. Or I might say, if I have, a lot of space or whatever, it's more important for me to get to this location, and then I'm going to do my front cross because I know that I have more time in that spot. I want to know exactly the location that I want my dog when I start my front cross. Okay. Exactly where I'm going to point my toe, my first step of my front cross. Am I pushing out on the path? Exactly what I want my toe to point at. So, is there an A-frame over there? Is there, what is it that I'm going to point my toe at and how that affects my dog's line? What environmental cue? So after I take my first step and I'm turning out of my front cross, and that's usually when we drop our gaze and we look at landing to help support our dog to continue forward on the path that we had given them to the jump, which they need the obstacle commitment for. What thing in the environment can I stay looking at that will tell me where I am in space? All right. One of the things that I think is hardest about front crosses is as our body rotates out of the front cross, we all want to look where we're going. Okay. And unfortunately, the moment that we're doing that is often when the dog is landing. And when the dogs are landing, that's when they are actively kind of saying to us, what's next? What's next? And if we're able to pick a spot and run away from that spot at a certain angle or keep ourselves, as I run away from the jump, I want to stay at the midpoint of the bar, or I want to be moving away from the jump at this angle or whatever, I can know where I am in space. I can know that I'm safe and I'm not going to run into anything. And I can stay connected to my dog. So my dog can trust me to keep that connection. Okay. What footwork is required for the specific front? So is this a step in, step out? Is this a 45-degree or a 90-degree one? And coming out of the front, when is my dog committed to the next obstacle? Okay. And when my dog commits to the next obstacle, do I leave and run off on another line, or do I continue to drive forward so that I, can just support my pup's path and maybe increase speed or things like that. So the script for that front cross, we're just gonna, real brief little things for each of those. And that makes it much easier when we're actually doing it, because we don't have to think about it. We've already thought about it. We've already kind of come up with our plan. Nate doesn't run it. Clue does run people over, and Lauren had some very sweet girl running him the other weekend, and I swear to God, she was trying to give me a heart attack. The dog did she take her out once, Lauren? Clue hit her once really badly, and then on the second time through, the dog went between her legs. So that was pretty funny. Let's help dog learn obstacle commitment. Maybe not specifically, but the way I do my stuff, they all kind of teach obstacle commitment, because I kind of I use wires and stuff, and we can reward on the path and things like that, so that they will get better at their obstacle commitment. Yep, so that's good. Yep, good. Just bumped her the first run. She learned to leave. Exactly. Clue's just a good teacher, and taught her to get out of there. So, other questions? Hey, Theo, can you go let Giggle in? She's barking. My bad dog. He takes a very approach. Is it possible to do our plan from the course map before walking the course? Yes, definitely. Absolutely, we can. So I'm answering, Leslie, your question. It's absolutely possible from the course map. And it's very helpful, especially on a difficult course, to kind of go out there and have your plan in place before the walkthrough. And then you can kind of go out there and just look at the 2 or 3 spots that you're not quite sure about it. And so that actually makes life a lot easier if you go into the ring on the walkthrough, and instead of having to kind of go through and make decisions everywhere, you kind of already know, okay, I'm going to do this here. Well, I'm not sure which one I want to do here, so let me go look at it and get a feel for how it's going to run. So yes. And as with everything, it gets better with practice. And, the more we do it, the better we get. Theo! Oh my gosh. Please go let Giggle in, honey. Well, let Ruthie in, please. Whoever's barking. Good. I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Ruth. Class runs will be outside training. So are you talking about for the Wicked Weaves or for this class? The reason why the start date is so close to this previous class that we're still in is just because I wanted to get all of the assignments out to you guys with the hope of good weather. I think that the last assignment goes out before Thanksgiving. Is that right? So that people hopefully have enough good weather in time to do that. The weave pole class is really long. So, if you were to start it now, if you had access to an indoor, that would be great. I have had people take that. I've had a person take it in the city, and she used to take her weave poles out on the sidewalk. That was pretty funny. And I've certainly had a lot of people do that where they've taken the weave poles out into the driveway. So if it snows or whatever, I guess it's just kind of dependent on whether you can come up with a way to make it make sense for you. Okay. The video. Yeah. So Ruth, I'm the least tech savvy person in the universe. But has just helped me through things, and I just take it with my phone. I take the video with my phone, and then I go through iMovie and post it. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I have confidence that it'll be possible. When you cover blinds, will you cover when a send to blind style is appropriate versus a front cross? Yes, I will absolutely do that. Yes. Okay. Good. We's happy to help whenever I can. No, and he is very helpful to all of us. She is very helpful for all of us. True, Amanda Kit may have. Oh, that's true. True. Kit and I are similar in many different ways. All right. Anybody else? I'm excited about this class, as I always am, usually. But I'm really excited about proactive handling. And I've just seen it help people so much, and seen people improve really quickly when they're able to come up with a script, say their script, and then go out and run their script. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, good point, E. Yeah, so if the weather looks like it's going to be terrible, we can absolutely get the assignments out there sooner. And so that hopefully you have more time to do them. Yes, so Kit is a perfect example of how well this new system works. I mean, the two of them just look absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited about them as a team because they just look amazing. So it's pretty cool. I almost didn't take this because I don't like to do a lot of blind. Yes, absolutely, Leslie. Absolutely. And again, my rule for blinds is if I don't feel 100% safe, bail. Okay. And the people or the teams that have trouble with blinds are the teams that really don't have very good obstacle commitment. You, with your boy, you can absolutely do some very easy blind crosses with him where you are 100% safe because he does have such nice distance and obstacle commitment. So I think that is not something that you always need to be. I don't think you need to avoid them in the way that maybe you have in the past. I think that, I think that with you guys, I would just have you do them, in the spots that they're best for the dog. As I was saying earlier, I do have some people who just do not do front crosses because they have trouble with their knees or whatever the other problems are. But anyone who doesn't have trouble with their moving through a front cross, I think you do the front cross where the dog needs the help with the collection and everything else, and you do the blind cross when you are wanting to cue extension, or you're running a straighter line or whatever in the different examples. Okay. Yes, Nate, you do need to sign up now. And I would like to know what made you feel like you had to sign up now. Kit and Jack do look so awesome. Yeah. Issues with all moving joints. Yes. So somebody who has joint problems or things like that, then, you got to tell me that, hey, I can't do a front cross. I want to do it with line crosses, which are easier on your body. And agility is a team sport. And if something hurt your dog to do, we sure wouldn't ask them to do it. So we're certainly not going to ask you to do something that hurts your body. And we can absolutely figure out ways to do what's more comfortable and still tell our dog what they need to do, as with most things, right? So the faster you are, the better you are at running, then maybe you don't need your dog to have quite as much independence as somebody else. And those of us who are not fast as lightning, well, we need to teach our dogs a little bit more independence and stuff like that. So we can absolutely do that. Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer, it's too bad that you've been hurt. That's sucked. Oh, stop. Does the tunnel move every week? I don't always have a tunnel. I don't know whether I've done every single assignment yet or not. I've done most of them. I don't know. I think you could often leave it in the same spot and move the jumps around it. Yeah, that's right. With Nate, you do need to have a gazillion tunnel bags. So I will think of you, Lauren, when I'm designing them and try to help you out. Anything else, guys? Yeah, okay, you too. Yeah. Nice. I'm glad you're in, Nancy. We're going to have fun. Yeah, E, okay. So before this started, E had to send me the slides that she wrote up. She sent me the link to this. All I had to do was click on it. And still I was all like, I don't know if I can do this, E. So anyway, well, thank you guys. And as always, thank you, E. And let me know if you have any questions. You can always shoot me an email and let me know. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And hey, we didn't have. I know. He's in playing video games with his cousin. So we were saved from that. So good night, everybody. Nice. Nice. Okay. Bye, guys.